Hey there guys, Doodle here, and today I still am lost and I don't know who I am. No GPS can say. Anyway, we're gonna watch something different here by T Gimlet. If you don't know who T Gimlet is, he is one of the funniest Musume creators out there. I've watched a couple of his pull videos, Gentildonna, Orfevre, etc., etc. And I just found out that he made a video. It's 52 minutes long. It's a long video. The complete history of the Musume and international racing. So this is interesting. And I see Satono Diamond. I see the ARC logo. He/she was 14th, question mark. I can't remember, but we are going to watch what this is about. Yeah.
That race is one of the biggest races that Japan wants. If you've seen my Pre-Delar to Triumph video, you know that race is one of the biggest races that Japan wants to win outside their own country.
Yeah, that's their big white whale.
They've been trying for decades.
Oh, yeah. Hey. He's back, baby. He's back.
Haven't managed it. Surprisingly, there are other races held outside Japan, apparently. I know, it's pretty crazy. Japan has a long history of sending racehorses out into the world on excursions to try and compete on foreign soil. Apart from one outlier event in Russia, we can go back to 1954.
Oh no, I'm coughing.
Those team Americans invited Japan to a race sold. It doesn't exist anymore. The Washington, D.C. International.
Oh.
Japan tried to send Hakurio, who was fresh off a win at the Kika show and had never nor would ever place below third in a race.
Can I just say that this kid right here is pretty much a great-great-grandfather now. Food for thought.
But couldn't make it due to travel issues. The following year, though, the JRA said, hey, imagine if that went well and
why is the
steaming
quality
a plot for mass excursions.
Oh,
okay. Hakochikara would be the first expedition horse sent out post-Russo-Japanese war to American soil, and while he didn't exactly rack up wins left and right...
Oh, third, second, fifth, hey, at least he... Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, ooh.
He did end up winning the 1959 Washington Birthday Handicap Stakes. Japanese horses would sporadically race in America for the next few years, but expeditions really started
1964.
when they decided to really aim for the Pre-Delar to Triumph. In the late 60s, they decided to send a horse who conveniently lines up with this from an Musume perspective to America in Speed Symboli.
Oh,
the race
there you are.
Symboli ended up coming in 5th place at
Yo, can I just say that her eyes are very beautiful. I love the design.
9 racers in the 1967 Washington, D.C. International. Speed Symboli would go on a European excursion 2 years later, where he would place 5th in the succinctly named
that's not good.
Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and then would go on to place 10th
11th.
Prix de Deauville and 11th in the Pre-Delar to Triumph. He was the only Japanese participant in the ARC, and though the placements he got weren't exactly high, the JRA looked at this as vindication.
She's so adorable, man.
And that they could, at the very
so smug and cute at the same time,
at least compete on foreign soil, and with enough training, know-how, and good old-fashioned power of friendship, eventually win the ARC and then make a mobile where the whole thing is centered around whoever won it.
I keep forgetting that Montju's Musume character is hot. Because it's always the Broya character that sticks in my mind, and I think I can speak for not everybody, a lot of people, right? But the Montju model is like, wait, let me Montju. Musume, right? Like her okay, I'm getting one of those again, which is annoying. We're just gonna play while we wait. I want to buy that plushie, but I'm broke.
It would take a while to get things moving.
Major Musashi. Damn.
Again, since Japan experienced nothing but the
18th. It's either he's last or really near last. Okay, we have Montju here. Montju. Dude, look at that. Look at that. She is hot. Look at that. Hot damn. And she has some nice biceps. Anyway.
Debilitating losses in their excursion attempts for the next 20 years or so. To see how well they would compete on a global scale, they created the Japan Cup in 1981, which would be an international race in an otherwise isolated racing scene. Horses from all over the world were invited to compete with Japan.
There's my girl. She's my favorite character in Core 2, or Part 2. Let's just say it's Season 2. It's so weird how they label stuff now.
Japan's best local horses, and for Japan this would be a real...
Chris McCarron! I just found out that this guy rode Sunday Silence in the Breeders' Cup Classic, right? Because the jockey was like high or something. I don't know.
To see how they could compete overseas, and then foreign horses won the first 3 Japan Cups. These two factors weren't exactly a good
Oh, there she is. There's the fucking commander.
look for Japan's excursion aspirations, but they did finally get a domestic winner in the 1984 Japan Cup in Katsuragi Ace. Of course,
there you go. She badass, by the way. I'm not a fan, but she badass.
Katsuragi Ace couldn't exactly go anywhere since he was set to retire the following months of Rima Keenan, but there were a few promising options for expeditions that were sent out, and this is where our story really starts. Since
hey guys.
were a few promising options for expeditions that were sent out, and this is where our
You might be too young to get this. I remember, like, dude, this is from my childhood. This is how old this screenshot is. This Simpsons episode. This was a funny. This was a yeah.
Our story really starts. Since this is a Uma Musume channel, I'll be covering this primarily from an Uma Musume perspective, so sorry to all the Gallop-Dyna fans of the world, but we're starting with 2 horses from the same farm as Speed Symboli, Symboli Rudolph and Sirius Symboli. Sirius Symboli was
Gallop-Dyna?
farm as Speed Symboli, so sorry to all the Gallop-Dyna fans of the world, but we're starting.
What is that? I don't know what that is. Is that a game? Or is that a... I don't know, man.
Same farm as Speed Symboli, Symboli Rudolph, and Sirius Symboli. Sirius Symboli was chosen to head overseas after winning an incredibly muddy 1985 Japan Derby along with 2 first place and 1 second place finish out of 4 open races. Sirius ventured to Europe quickly after his Derby win and got off to a decent start, placing 8th in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, 4th in the Grosser
This is a huge race, no? In Britain?
Prix Van Baden, 6th in the Prix du Prince d'Orange, and 3rd in the Prix Royal Oak. Now these
at least there's some improvement, right?
placings may not exactly jump off the page, but you've got to take into account that 3 of those 4 races were G1 races on a completely different track type than you're used to. Just to reiterate from my ARC video, there are several factors that make horse racing in foreign countries difficult. In most cases, horses train on the same style of track of the country they're born in.
I mean, yeah. You guys know the whole Yoshida... The older Yoshidas are like, let's turn Tenno Show Spring into medium instead of long, so we can use that as a jumping point to like a race in a Royal Ascot or something. And then one of the younger Yoshidas, the Yoshida that is like the head of the Sunday racing co, or the Sunday racing people. My brain farted a few times. Sorry. I was like, oh, we're going to enter Croix du Nord in Tenno Show Spring, by the way. That is a weird thing. I hope that does not happen, because like Japan has, again, I'm seeing people on Reddit and on Twitter like, oh, they're heavily influenced by like European horse racing. All right, so they want it to like kill stayers pretty much, which is like, I am not for that, dude.
So the soil and track type are different for starters. On top of other factors, such as rules and regulations and jockey styles, adaptation to foreign soil is often the biggest challenge, not called spending millions of dollars to send a horse.
Oh, there's Dia-chan.
Although to defend France's dirt, which isn't something I'd expect I'd do, Sirius's first 2 races were also on turf in the same distance as the Japan Derby, albeit not as muddy.
But it's mush though, right? European turf is mush.
Symboli did start to get a
It's literally the opposite from my understanding of Japanese turf.
little more successful the longer he stayed in Europe. But seeing as how Sirius probably needs a break, let's catch up with his farm mate Symboli Rudolph. By 1986, Symboli Rudolph was already a 7-time G1 winner and Triple Crown racehorse. A feud broke out between his owner and trainer over whether...
I just realized that Rudolph wearing her G1 outfit is like somebody who will definitely 100% play suzerain. If you don't know that game, well...
not to send him to America or Europe. Eventually, it was decided to go with the owner's plan to go to America, so the trainer's plan of not helping if that was the case was also implemented. Rudolph would race in the 1986 San Luis Race Stakes in sunny Santa Anita, California, placing 6th behind winner Dollar. Unfortunately, this would turn out to not only be Rudolph's only race in America, but his last race in general. Before the race, his jockey noticed that something was off and advised pulling out of the race, but was summarily ignored. During the race, Rudolph developed ligamentitis in his left front leg, and after returning to Japan, although there were thoughts of another excursion, he had to retire. why don't we go check back up on our good friend Series Symboli? He spent the entire year in France and
terrible
Italy in
owners,
1986 to prepare for the first attempt at the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe since Mijiro Musashi's previous attempt in 1972. Now with French jockeys, Sirius's podium finishes included a third place finish at the Prix Seasick and a second place finish at the Prix Foy. Thanks not only to those finishes, but also never placing below 5th in European races that year and his Japan Derby win last year, Series Symboli was the sole Japanese representative at the 1986 ARC. Putting his 1.5 years of experience to good use, Sirius competed but placed 14th, far behind winner Dancing Brave, with reasons stemming from his high workload over the year, which seemed to have an effect on his health and made him irritable. Although he did pick
Can I hear that name again?
Sirius competed but placed 14th, far behind winner Dancing Brave, with reasons stemming from his high workload over the year, which seemed to have an effect on his health and made him irritable. Although he did pick up a few.
By the way, I know a couple of you want me to watch this. I can't. I still can't find a video that I'm comfortable with because I don't want some weirdo striking me because I own this. You can't do anything about it. Fucking annoying. Sorry.
More high finishes, notably in the.
I want to watch it, right? I still haven't watched it, even on my own personal time.
Prix du Conseil de Paris and Prix au Mont Blanc in the same year. His 1987 finishes weren't so great, and Sirius returned to Japan to race with a Guri Cap, among others. So you may say to yourself, wow, Sirius did pretty bad, but his excursions were one thing, if not anything else. And proof that Japan needed to learn from this. Sirius encountered numerous logistical issues during his time in Europe that would teach Japan about how to further approach excursions down the line.
That's true, right?
Really
kind of like they're
Sirius
sacrificial
Symboli
lambs, man.
For future excursion horses.
Exactly.
And as a special reward, when he returned to Japan, he got so angry that he kicked 2 horses in the Mainichi Okon and almost didn't get in trouble for it.
Oh my god, PTSD Sirius Symboli is kind of funny.
It would take us
but kind of sad too.
A little while to get our next couple of Musume counterparts, but in the interim, Hong Kong would start up a few international races of their own.
Here we go.
The Hong Kong Cup was established in 1988 under the name Hong Kong Invitational Cup as another race which was open to participants from other countries. The Hong Kong Vase and Hong Kong Mile were also established shortly after and featured visits from the likes of Tonino Create from the same farm as Tonino Gimlet, for example. Yeah, I can shoehorn in whatever I want. It's my video. Eventually, these 3 races, for example.
Dude,
yeah, I can shoehorn in.
Look at his goofy face. It's so funny.
Whatever I want, it's my video. Eventually, these 3 races, joined by the Hong Kong Sprint, would become some of the biggest races in Hong Kong, taking place every December. But still, no Japanese horses could claim victory in foreign countries as of yet. After sending horses out on excursions steadily since
Tennessee.
Symboli's time in Europe, and presumably now that there were a whole 5 winners out of the 16 races of the Japan Cup, Japan was finally ready to send 2 more future Musume out on excursions in 1997 by sending one to France and another to Hong Kong. Let's go chronologically. There's no better way. Sakura Laurel was the next horse on the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Laurel at this point had won the 1996 JRA Best Horse Award after winning the Spring Tenno Show and Arima Keenan and taking 3rd in the.
And you would think that winning the Spring Tenno Show and Arima Keenan would actually. I mean, my stupid ass is like, if you win Tenno Show Spring, and those are that's longer than the arc, but then again, you know.
Autumn Tenno Show, among other accolades. Laurel's owners desperately wanted to be the ones to finally crack the ARC code, and so another expedition to France was made and resulted in Laurel not only placing 8th in the Prix Foy, but also tearing a flexor tendon during said race. It was such a serious injury that his retirement was announced before even returning to Japan.
That is dude, that is terrible. Wow.
So France didn't work out, but how about Hong Kong? By December 1997, Silent Suzuka had experienced mixed success with wins in the principal stakes and debut races, but floundered in G1 such as the Japan Derby, Autumn Tenno Show, and Mile Championship. Suzuka was entered into the Hong Kong Cup.
Wait, I did not know that he competed abroad.
With a new jockey since his previous one had a prior racing commitment. Suzuka entered alongside fierce competition and ended up taking 5th place after changing styles and racing further ahead than usual. This would, however, be a revelation for Suzuka's camp as his new jockey for this race, Yutaka Take, found that if Suzuka ran as what we would call a front runner, they would be a real threat. And this was proven in the following year in 1998 when Suzuka went undefeated, taking wins in 6 graded races, including the Takarazuka Keenan and Mainichi Okon. 1998 also featured 2 more excursions we can talk about. Taiki Shuttle and Seeking the Pearl were both shipped off to France this time, but not with eyes on the Arc since they had competed in shorter distance races over both of their careers.
That's true.
Seeking the Pearl, coming off 6 graded victories, including the NHK Mile Cup, had plans to race in the
both
Prix de Jacques
intense
Lemoyne.
milers.
Taiki Shuttle, who had placed 1st in 9 races, including the Mile Championship and Sprinter Stakes, also entered that race. So since Pearl's camp wasn't confident against him, they switched to the Prix Maurice de Geest a few days earlier. Seeking the Pearl initially led her race thanks to a
Wait, they switch races?
She did have to blow off some challengers and was competing all the way to the finish line, but she was finally able to pull off a triumphant victory by shattering a record that stood for 17 years.
Oh,
at the same
wow.
time providing Japan
17
with its
years.
first ever international victory in Europe. And what's even better, they wouldn't have to wait long for their second, as Taiki
Oh,
also won
Taiki
his
Shuttle
race the week
Death.
after once he took the lead in the final 100 meters of his race. Since she was the first to do it, Seeking the Pearl was all over the news and regaled as a hero. While Taiki Shuttle had intended to race further in Europe and eventually in the Breeders' Cup in America, he instead returned to Japan and picked up another victory in his second straight mile championship.
Okay.
Seeking the Pearl, unfortunately, would go on to place 5th in her second race in France, the Prix de Moulin de Longchamp, but in 1999 headed to America in the beginning of the year to race in the Santa Monica Handicap. In this race, Pearl was erratic with positions, starting off toward the front in 3rd and 4th, then falling behind once the pace hastened, but made up some ground at the end, managing a 4th place finish. So, we finally have winners in France, but neither Seeking the Pearl nor Taiki Shuttle were suited for long distances and didn't feasibly have any chance in the arc. You'll never believe what ideas Japan got in their head next. After resting for the winter, El Condor Pasa was next in line to
Oh, here.
El had an
She
impressive
is.
streak of 6 wins and 7 races with victories in G1s like the NHK Mile Cup and Japan Cup. Hey, the Japan Cup was won by a Japanese horse again. That's a good sign. This time.
By the way, haven't yet watched this race. I haven't looked for a video. I would assume this is gonna have a more accessible video. Sorry.
Japan really wanted to get the specialization down, so they had El Condor Pasa stay at the same stable that Taiki Shuttle stayed at. The plan was to train for unfamiliar terrain and participate in 2 spring races and 2 fall races. Though he struggled at first, El eventually got comfortable with the terrain.
My question is, why don't Japan, even to this day of our year of our Lord 2026, why not have, I don't know, a race course, a track that has that type of surface or turf? You know, a heavier turf surface, so they could, I don't know, train there? Or just have, like, hey, have a new race course. I think they could afford it, right? Like a smaller, minor race course that has heavy. It's just heavy, right? I don't know.
And was ready to go ham. El Condor Pasa ended up placing 2nd in his first race, the Prix d'Espagne. Although that's a much better placement than was anticipated, there were serious concerns over his stamina since he did have the lead for the majority of the race but lost it at the very end. But his staff was determined, saying it would be a waste to return to Japan after 1 race. El's next race was the Grand Prix de St. Cloud and featured nasty competition including French and Irish Derby winner Dreamwell and previous ARC winner Saga Mix. Entering his second favorite, El Condor Pasa would find himself in 4th or 3rd throughout, but go on to win this race by 2.5 lengths.
Hey,
slipping back
that's a good sign, right?
After
That's
that,
a good
even though there
sign.
was a small injury scare, El would also go on to win the Prix Foy as the favorite,
Oh
although
shit!
it was a race featuring only 3 horses. And finally, it was time for the Arc. There was bad weather the day before the Arc, which left the track in a bad state, but El Condor Pasa showed off his experience and managed to hold and keep the lead in the last straight. He held the lead, but was doggedly pursued by Montja, who eventually overtook the #1 spot in the last 100 meters, winning over El Condor Pasa by half a length. Despite this, El returned to Japan a hero and was awarded a very special banner upon arrival to the airport.
Oh, really?
How sweet. Before we move on, we can get back to checking in on Seeking the Pearl, who was returned to America. Forgoing original plans to rest for the winter, Pearl now found herself in the Noble Damsel Stakes in New York. She entered this race as the #1 favorite, but couldn't compete in the end, coming in 4th place in the final straight. She then went up to the south to compete in the Laurel Dash Stakes, but fell all the way down to 7th. Seeking the Pearl would retire shortly afterward, but
so I would assume these are like turf races, right, in America?
Retire with 8 victories in 21 races. In 2000, after placing 2nd in the Japan Derby and a close finish after winning the Satsuki Show, Air Shakur made the trip over to Britain to participate in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth.
I think Air Shakur is hot. Am I the only one? I think she's hot. I don't know, man.
Just to quote, feel something. I should stop making things up to the horses. The winner of this race, however, was Montja, fresh off losing to Japan.
There's something cute about like tomboyish, like cute girls like this, even though she looks punky.
Special week after Air
Is that a word, punky? I don't know.
Didn't up the pace enough in the final straight, landing in 5th. You may remember that particular Japan Cup from season 1 of the Musume anime, but there's actually another participant in that race we can cover next. Stay Gold. Stay Gold up until 2001.
There he is.
43 races and won 4 of them, and 3 of them were in his second year in ungraded races. That being said, he did have quite a few podium finishes with 24. Not exactly a dominant force, but still a horse to watch out for who competed with the less special week.
He's always, I've said this many times already at this point, he was always there, right?
Wonder and Saiyan Sky. Before
On a more luckier day, he probably could have won 1 or 2.
Winning the 2001 Nikkei Shinshinhai, Stay Gold's camp had designs on sending him to America, but decided against it. They did, however, decide to go to Dubai to participate in the Dubai Shima Classic in March.
And he
His biggest
won,
competition was
right?
Fantastic Light, an American horse who had claimed victories over Sagamix and Mancha and competed with TM Opera O and Meisho Dodo, who, despite what his anthropomorphized counterpart's in-game personality may make you think, was a fierce competitor. Stay Gold got off to a good start and stayed in the middle group before making his move in the last spurt, ending up...
By the way, I'm just happy that Side Games showed a glimpse of that in beginning of a new era. That sequence was so, like, him and Opera, her and Opera just going at it, right? That was insane.
A photo finish.
That's the only time Meisho Dodo looked really badass in the franchise.
Was Stay Gold, making him
Stay
the
Gold.
first Japanese horse to win a race in Dubai.
That's the one. That's the first kill to the Godolphins, man.
Losing more races and beating TM Opera O and then getting disqualified, as he does. But you can only take so much TM Opera O before you have to go to Hong Kong. Stay Gold was actually one of 3 horses to participate in the Hong Kong International races, as he won alongside Asian Preston, who would compete in the Hong Kong Mile, and Agnes Digital, who would compete in the Hong Kong Cup. What a police lineup. Stay Gold would participate in the Hong Kong base in order to avoid becoming enthralled in a fan manga, and even though he started to run diagonally because he saw the color blue,
I told you guys, this guy's very funny.
Which is a real thing that happens to him.
He deserves more
ended up winning
subs.
The Hong Kong base and became the first and one of a scant few all-time Japanese racehorses to win 2 international races in 2 different countries. Because I need to procrastinate talking about Agnes Digital as much as possible because she scares me, I'd also like to point out that Stay Gold was sired by a pretty famous racehorse, Sunday Silence. Sunday Silence was an American Double Crown racehorse who won 9 of his 14 races and otherwise placed second in the rest. After his career, Sunday Silence retired to Japan to stud in 1990. It was in Japan that Sunday Silence became the top sire for over a decade straight, producing future stars like Silent Suzuka, Special Week, Agnes Tachyon, Still in Love,
There's so many. There's so many.
Cafe, to name a few.
There's
Outside
so
of
many.
anime girlified horses, he also sired Deep Impact and Dance Partner. Because Sunday Silence was a foreign horse, the hope was that he would pass down genetic traits that would better help Japan's of not only competing domestically, but internationally as well. Stay Gold was in a similar boat after proving that he could compete overseas. He would retire to stud after winning the Hong Kong base, and if you've ever heard of Stay Gold, you've probably heard of the fan-coined Stay Gold family.
Here we go, baby.
Several members of which would have a big presence overseas that we'll cover later. But alright, let's talk about Crazy Horse. Agnes Digital, much like Meisho Dodo, may give you a false impression based on how the character is portrayed in Uma Musume, but it can't be stressed enough how good Agnes Digital was. For reference, right before the Hong Kong Cup, Digital had won 3 graded races in a row, including 2 G1s, and in his most recent race defeated TM Opera O, Stay Gold, and Meisho Dodo in the Autumn Tenno show. After Stay Gold and Asian Preston had won their races, Agnes Digital was the last one remaining from that trip. Digital entered the Hong Kong Cup as second favorite and would engage in several challenges with European horse Tobug. They spent the entire race trading the lead between them before Agnes Digital ended up taking the only lead that mattered at the end and won the race. Meaning Japan won 3 of the 4 2001 Hong Kong International.
Look, you can fucking lead and take the face all you want, or even the last couple furlongs. But if you get yoinked, it doesn't matter, man.
We actually
doesn't matter, man.
Digital is after taking a quick return to Japan to win the February stakes. Digital once again was sent on excursion. This time to Dubai.
Dubai World Cup. Oh!
Well, eventually anyway. Digital actually got stuck in a Hong Kong airport due to aircraft trouble, and if that wasn't bad enough, there was once again bad weather that wrecked the track. That may or may not be because of this, but Digital ended up coming in 6th in a pack far behind winner Street Cry.
And this was 2002. I would think that like the transportation of horses isn't as good as it is now, right?
Stopped by one bad race, though, Digital then returned to Hong Kong to compete against Asian Preston in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup.
Okay.
Although Agnes Digital led for most of the last straight, Asian Preston would pull ahead and snatch victory away. I know, I expect him to be an Uma Musume too. Digital would then return to Japan to set a record in the Yasuda Kinen before retiring in 2003. But we don't have time for 2003, we need to go back to France. Back at it again for the 2002 Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, because why not? The competitor from Japan this year was to be Manhattan Cafe, who was boasting 3 consecutive wins in G1 races at the time. Cafe spent the entire summer getting used to the European track and actually entered the arc as the 5th favorite to win. Although Manhattan Cafe started strong, unfortunately developed an injury in his leg during the race and ended up falling all the way down to 13th place. As a result of this injury, this ended up being Cafe's last race, only a 1.5 year long career. Later in
Bro, freaking Longchamp keeps on taking the souls of Japanese horses, man. One way or the other, a piece of a Japanese horse is left there.
the year, prolific sprinter Believe was...
It seems like Croix du Nord, you know, still, I still feel Craw left a piece of himself in long jump. I mean, he's good now, and he's a Kitaling, right? As one of you said, so affectionately, like Kitalings, right? I love that term. Like they do get better as they age, right?
Went abroad for the second ever
By the way, again, one of my favorite G1 outfits is Believe, and I don't even know this horse. She's like hot and cool at the same time.
running of the
I think I said
Hong
that before,
Sprint.
right?
Since debuting in 2000, Believe had raced 20 times but had struggled, placing decently in pre-op races, but not so much in graded ones. 2002 was the start of big things for Believe.
I kind of feel I'm kind of seeing the trend, like a lot of horses that are sent abroad from Japan aren't the best. I mean, sure, you have your El Condor Pasas, right? But I mean, and then you have Symboli, but they severely mishandled that horse. But like, there's a lot of like ARC horses that, or Japanese horses that went to the ARC that
Believe, though,
you know
as she had won
they're not
both
really the
Centaur
best.
Stakes and Sprinter Stakes.
I mean, I
However,
kind of
while
understand,
traveling
like,
to Hong Kong,
if I have one of the best horses, like I'm not gonna have to risk it unless I'm crazy.
lost almost 50 pounds, and this change in her condition threw her off.
Wait, what?
However, while traveling to Hong Kong, she lost almost 50 pounds, and this change in her condition.
Dude, 50 pounds is what? Like, I've been reading stuff, and like even like a couple pounds is like, you scratch it, man.
Threw her off as she placed 12th after being left behind by the pack.
Why would they still race her? Or him? I don't know. Is Believe? I think Believe's a filly, right? Is Believe a filly? Believe horse. Japan. Yeah, Philly. Dude, I get it. You lost money, but why?
We can actually skip much of the
She's not a fucking good traveler if that's the case, right?
anticipated 2003 because Japan decided to try to win the ARC again in 2004 with Tap
Of course.
City. Even though he'd been racing since 2000 with good results, he was coming off a career year with 4 wins and 6 races in 03. One of which being a 9-length victory in the Japan Cup, and 2 more wins in 04. It was after his Japan Cup victory that Tap Dance City staff declared their intent to run in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. So Tap Dance City was shipped off to Europe to train after some transportation fumbles in September. Despite only being there for a short amount of time, it was said that Tap Dance City
I'm seeing a trend here where there's a lot of logistical issues, right?
He was adapting well to Europe. He was in good condition all the way up to the actual day of the race when strangely he was more tense after being transported to the race course. He started off strong toward the front of the racers, but that didn't last very long and he ended up falling all the way down to 17th place just after the 100-meter remaining mark, losing a relative underdog Bago. Tap Dance City returned to Japan and had intended to retire in the Arima Keenan, but placed second behind Zenno Rob Roy, so his retirement was postponed for another year, which included a victory at his 3rd straight Kinko show. Later in that same year, Japan would once again try their luck in Hong Kong, sending 2 calm and well-demeanored horses to participate in the Hong Kong Sprint and Hong Kong Mile, Calstone Lido and Durandal. Calstone Lido, over his career,
These two.
What could be politely referred to as fluctuating results, but was selected to participate in the Hong Kong Sprint after a particularly strong 2004. He actually entered as second favorite and was competing for the lead, but fell off dramatically in the second half.
Bro, what the no. How about
Durandal,
Durandal?
on the other hand, was actually the favorite to win the Hong Kong Mile and had a much better track record than Calstone Lido, with 8 wins including 3 G1 victories. However, despite the fact that the condition of the track at the time was reported to be good and firm, that turned out not to be the case as per Durandal's jockey. He lost his balance due to the watering of the track and ended up placing 5th. Following this,
That
Durandal
sucks, man.
developed laminitis, which is a terrible disease for horses
wait,
that
what?
causes terrible pain in their hooves. Retirement was on the horizon for Durandal, but he did return in 2005 after a 10-month break to take second in the Sprinter Stakes. Now that it's a new year, it's time to break
Why would you, dude? Why would you still race if they develop laminitis?
new ground. Yeah, you thought. Zenno Rob Roy has been going crazy in Japan with podium finishes in 14 of 16 races, including wins in the 2004 Fall G1s, the Autumn to No Show, Japan Cup, and a record-setting.
Hey, we watched that, guys. We did.
To this day. Zenno Rob Roy had eyes on the same races again in his final year of racing, and following a 3rd place finish in the Takarazuka Keenan, eyes were turned to Europe for international competition. The King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes were considered, but ultimately, the International Stakes was selected as the race to run in. There was heavy competition from all over Europe to make up for a big race between 7 horses. Zenno Rob Roy took the lead after some blocking by other horses, but would engage in a battle with Electrocutionist and Marahel at the tail end of the race.
There's a horse named Electrocutionist. That is a really funny and cool name.
Saw him overtaken, losing by a neck to Electrocutionist, and ahead of Marahel. Ahead. Following this loss, there was consideration to participate in the Irish Championship Stakes, but the Autumn G1s were the priority, and Zenno Rob Roy ended his career in Japan the same year, amassing at the time the second most earnings by any Japanese racehorse in history behind Tiamat Pro.
Hey.
But the year is still young, and there's still time to break new ground. Not here. Here. And actually the year isn't so young anymore now that I look at it. Nearly 50 years after Hakuchikara became the lone Japanese racehorse to win a race in America.
I'm not saying anything about that country, by the way. I've already mentioned on comments about people from there in terms of comments and stuff, right?
It was now time for Cesario to get a shot in the American.
There she is. Dude, she's so beautiful.
Special Week Special Girl had debuted just a year before traveling to America, picking up wins in 4 of 5 races, including a victory at the Japanese Oaks. Which must be why they picked the American Oaks. Because they're both Oaks. So anyway, Cesario's
good one, OG. Good one.
Horses like Victoire and Agnes World, so he decided to take on an expedition of his own. Cesario was reportedly a little nervous from all the eyes on her on the day of the race, but aside from that, was in regular form. If she was nervous, you wouldn't know it by watching the race, since Cesario raced strongly throughout and managed to beat out favorite Mel Inda by a record 4 lengths and in a record time that stood.
I remember that Pyrex video.
20 years.
By the way, she's a big girl, isn't she?
Cesario would also become the first American G1 winner as a Japan-bred horse, a Japanese classic race winning horse, and as a 3-year-old horse. Cesario naturally returned to Japan a hero, winning the JRA Best 3-Year-Old Filly and Best Domestic Horse Awards, and had eyes on running in the first ever running of the Victoria Mile, as well as in a series of races in a collection known as the Asian Mile Challenge. But while training, Cesario would develop suspensory desmitis and would subsequently retire, with the American Oaks being her.
What is that?
We're skipping ahead a few years now to talk about Casino Drive. Casino Drive isn't playable, but is actually an American-bred Japan-trained horse, and since he's also an Musume, we can talk about him. In his early years, Casino Drive threw off his trainer, got injured, had to stall his debut, and won his debut by a huge margin, the normal procedure. Due to his pedigree of being sired by 2003 American Horse of the Year Mineshaft, who had also sired 2000.
Wait, oh right, I looked at his pedigree. Yeah, my shaft, bro.
2006 Belmont Stakes winner Jazzle and 2007 Belmont winner Rags to Riches, Casino Drive would spend the majority of the year in America, starting off.
What of AP Indy's kids? He's still alive.
Showed off his true strength here, as in his second race, he took the lead, and won by almost 6 lengths. Becoming the first Japanese trained horse to win an American dirt race. Casino Drive impressed a lot of people with this race.
That's good, huh?
To the Belmont Stakes against that year's hopeful undefeated Triple Crown horse Big Brown, but the day before the race, Casino Drive got a bruise on his leg and had to withdraw. Fortunately, he'd be back to racing in America later that year. Since Casino Drive needs a break, let's talk about arguably the strongest mare in Japanese history, Vodka. Vodka was on a dominant run after saying.
There we go. So, guys, who you got? Is it Vodka? Is it Ammonite? Is it Gentildonna?
A wreck in the 2006 Hanshin Juvenile Fillies, winning the following year's Tulip Show and becoming the 3rd filly ever to win the Japan Derby. In 2007, Vodka made a trip over to Europe to prepare for, you guessed it, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, but had to withdraw due to injury. Vodka's staff wouldn't let the idea of an expedition go away just
dude, you can't even. Oh my God.
That though. So in early 2008, in the midst of a bit of a slump, Vodka was sent to Dubai to race in the Dubai Duty Free. Vodka raced toward the front, placing around 4th in the beginning of the race, and showed a little promise going around the final corner as she made a move to the outside, but ended up staying in 4th place.
Can you imagine if Vodka ran in the Arc and maybe won? That would be insane.
This is a pretty impressive result notwithstanding, so she took back to Japan to try and break out of this drought she was in. After a few months of rest, Casino Drive is back and ready to make the Americans look bad again.
Dude, I love the pacing in this video. It's insane. This guy is, again, he's funny and is a good content creator.
This time he intended to enter the Breeders' Cup Classic, so he entered the allowance stakes to qualify. Showing no signs of wear from his previous injury, Casino Drive took an outside approach toward the lead, and on the second turn took it full stop. His pursuers almost caught him, but Casino Drive took first place and 2 weeks later entered the Breeders' Cup. In this race, he launched out of the gate powerfully, taking the lead and keeping it for a good while, but this pace tired him out significantly. He fell further and further back behind more and more horses and ended up coming in last place, a full 21 lengths behind the winner. Casino Drive returned to Japan to some success, including a win at the 2000.
Wait, who? Oh, who? Who won 2000? Wait, Breeders' Cup Classic, right? Who won this? Raven's Path. I don't know. Guys, do you know Elusive Quality? I know that in the pedigrees.
2009 Alexandrite Stakes. Upon returning to Japan after her trip to Dubai, Vodka broke out of her slump, getting podium finishes in all 5 of her races, which included wins in the Yasuda Keenan and a record-setting win in the Autumn Tonneau Show. Thus, a return to Dubai was planned. Vodka would participate in the Jebel Hada and Dubai Duty Free again in 2009. This time, she would stay there for a bit longer than before, but placed 5th in the Jebel Hada, where she pretty much was for the entire race. And
is it? Maybe she's not a good traveler, right? Maybe that's it.
Falling from 2nd to 7th in the Dubai Duty Free after losing all her stamina and getting caught by the pack she raced ahead of. The day before the Dubai Duty Free, Casino Drive made his return to the world of overseas racing in the Dubai World Cup. He started off toward the front of the middle, around 5th place, but at the 600-meter mark started falling further and further back and found himself far behind the eventual winner, Well Armed, who, to be fair, left everyone in the dust. It was said that his inexperience among the competitors is what really did him in, as he finished in 8th, a crazy 27 lengths behind the winner. After this race, it was found the Casino
27.
Drive required surgery on his front left leg and wouldn't race for the next 2 years. He returned and had a few more races in 2011 to mix success, but that would be his final year.
Why would you? Bro, he's already successful. Stand him for stud. Make him a stallion, dude.
Here on a racetrack. Vodka's most recent return.
I mean, they might be not there might not be that much interest because, again, dirt horse, right? It's not like now.
Claim podium finishes in all 5 races she competed in, this time including 3 more G1 wins, so you'll never believe where she went in 2010. This time, however, she will be joined by fellow Musume counterpart Red Desire. In her debut year of 2009...
Oh, this is her stalker, right?
Red Desire got podium finishes in every race she competed in, including a win at that...
By the way, I love her design. She's pretty, too.
At your Shuka Show and 2nd place finishes behind Buena Vista at the Oka Show and Japanese Oaks. She had also placed 3rd behind winner Vodka at the Japan Cup that year. As Buena Vista would be sent to Dubai later in the month, arguably the 3 strongest fillies at the time were sent out to the UAE capital in March. First, Red Desire and Vodka went into the Al Maktoum Challenge. This race was announced as Vodka's retirement race since she was starting to develop chronic nosebleeds. In this race, Vodka had a pretty rough
chronic nosebleeds?
While Red Desire, on the other hand, took off from the outside and won the whole thing.
Oh!
Buena Vista also had a strong showing on foreign soil. Coming off a Double Crown year in 2009, she entered the Dubai Shima Classic a few weeks after the Al Maktoum Challenge. She started off toward the back, but made up staggering ground, catching up to the leader, Darami, but would get blocked and place a respectable 2nd. Buena Vista then returned home because she had more G1s to win. Unlike the other
she had more G1s to win.
Expedition itch to scratch. She remained in Dubai and partook in the Dubai World Cup 3 weeks after her victory in the Al Maktoum Challenge. Red Desire would be unable to repeat her success in her previous race, though, falling all the way down to 11th place. After
11th? Why?
For the duration of the race. She returned home to place 4th.
I mean, how long was the turnaround?
Remained in Dubai and partook in the... Unlike the other 2, Red Desire still had an expedition itch to scratch. She remained in Dubai and partook in the Dubai World Cup 3 weeks after her victory.
That is too short. That's too short.
Victory in the Al Maktoum to 11th place,
I feel like
a mile behind Buena Vista, and would then go on to travel later in the year, this time to America. At this point, Red Desire, much like Vodka, has started developing a chronic nosebleed. This will be a problem in Japan, where she wouldn't be allowed to race, but that's not a restriction in America, so that's convenient. Red Desire entered the Flower Bowl Stakes, but because of the
who owns this horse? Because that's kind of scummy.
Terrible conditions, really could never make a good final push, but still ended up placing 3rd.
The
following month, Red Desire found herself in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, but didn't break out enough in the final stretch and wound up taking 4th. While Red Desire returned to Japan and retired shortly after this, Japan had sent another racer to America, Espoir City. Espoir City by this point was a prolific dirt racer, taking wins in the February Stakes, Championship Cup, and won the Kashiwa Keenan twice. Espoir City would be sent to America to participate in the 2010 Breeders' Cup after flirting with the idea of a trip to Dubai. Although Espoir City did take the lead after the 4th corner, he couldn't keep up with the pace and ended up falling back to 10th place. Upon his return, thanks to his previous exploits though, he won the 2nd JRA award for Best Dirt Racehorse. And you might think we're done with 2010, but we aren't. We actually need to go back in time just a little bit and back over the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, you thought I forgot about the arc, but I was just distracted by Espoir City. This time, Nakayama Festa was to be Japan's latest attempt in the biggest race in France. Following a victory at the Takarazuka Keenan, the first overseas competitor of the Stay Gold progeny was sent to France and competed in the Prix Foy to prepare for the arc, where he had a lead, but fell to 3rd afterwards and ended up clawing his way back into 2nd. Still, this was a good sign, so there was some optimism when the arc came around. Nakayama Festa wasn't the only one sent to France this time around, as he would be joined by Victoire Pisa, who had accumulated 7 podium finishes.
This is Neo Genesis kid, right?
Including 5.
I love her design. She looks like a Gundam character.
place finishes that saw him win the Satsuki show and Yayoi show. Victoire Pisa also had eyes on the arc, and on the same day Nakayama Festa entered the Prix Foy, Victoire Pisa was entered into the Prix Neil. He competed in the middle group, but couldn't keep his pace in the final straight, ending up in fourth. Thus, both horses entered the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Victoire Pisa struggled mightily in this race and could never break out from the back of the pack, but Nakayama Festa found himself in a fight on the last stretch with British horse Workforce. Unfortunately, he couldn't take the lead and ended up coming in second, a place not taken in the arc since El Condor Pasa over a decade before. Victoire Pisa had finished in 8th, but rose to 7th due to a disqualification on another runner. Despite
shit.
Both horses entered the next year with chips on their shoulders in different ways.
Dude, imagine if fighting for, like... I mean, it kind of makes sense, because they might think that, hey, maybe we could have done better, right? But
Since
that's
it's
kind of
2011 now, let's go see what's happening in Dubai. Buena Vista once again made the trip out to participate in the Dubai World Cup, this time alongside Transcend. Since last time, Buena Vista had picked up victories in the Victoria Mile and Autumn Tenno show, as well as second place finishes in the Takarazuka Kinen, Japan Cup, and Arima Kinen. Transcend,
those are
on the
good
other hand, was
placings.
dominating the dirt scene, having won 3 straight races, including 2 G1s before making the trip over.
Oh.
The pair were also joined by Victoire Pisa, who was eager to re-establish himself after what happened
Dubai
in
World
Europe.
Cup.
There was a slow pace in the Dubai World Cup that didn't favor a back-end racer like Buena Vista, who would end up in 8th place, but it does offer a good advantage to runners who took the lead early, like Transcend and Victoire Pisa. These two would actually compete with each other over first place, with Victoire Pisa overtaking Transcend at the end to win. The three returned to Japan to find a whole mess of different success stories. Dubai would also see the excursion debut of Rulership that year, who entered the Dubai Shima Classic. Rulership was looking for his first G1 victory after coming up short in both the Japan Derby and Rulership, and although he had won other races, there was a clear and really funny pattern forming. Rulership got off to a...
Wait, why did he skip Deep Impact? Oh, it's because it's Umamusa. Okay, got it. Sorry.
great start, solidifying himself in 3rd place. As he entered the final straight, though,
he does not have a character.
Wound up placing 6th, and you'll never believe the result of his next race. This time with feeling, Nakayama Festa returned to France. Once again, he would
this is bad.
Although he had the lead for a time, he couldn't.
This next one is bad.
Where he finished. Despite this, he still participated in the arc and once again had a really strong start, finding himself comfortably in 2nd early, but once again couldn't maintain it and ended up falling all the way down to 11th, ironically right above last year's winner Workforce, which I'll say again, can't wait for that to be an anime scene somewhere down the line. We have one more expedition from 2011 from a racer you might not expect. Curran was on the roll of her life.
Oh shit, really?
Graded races, including the Sprinter Stakes, so she was invited to the Hong Kong Sprint, which played right into where she was most comfortable. Curran paced herself at around the 4th place spot, but couldn't get out beyond that point, so she ended up placing 5th after falling behind a smidge at the end. In 2012, hot off the heels of Victoire Pisa's victory last year, Japan sent Asian Flash, Transcend, and Smart.
Oh my god, send everybody!
Last saw him, Transcend continued his hot streak with 3 more podium finishes and 2 wins, whereas Asian Flash hasn't gotten a victory in almost 2 years. Smart Falcon, however, was well on his way to stardom, as by this point he had 3 record finishes, 19 graded race wins, and an undefeated 2011, which of course made Smart Falcon the second favorite to win. Hey, wait a minute. The Dubai World Cup that year, however, would come to be a horror show for Japan. Transcend showed promise at the start by carrying a lead, but couldn't maintain it past the 3rd corner and fell all the way down to 13th. Asian Flash showed decent strength, but couldn't muster out a meaningful final sprint and placed 6th. Smart Falcon, though, would have it the worst. At the start of the race, he hit the gate as he jumped out too early, hurting his leg in the process and could never get going, placing 10th. While Transcend would carry on racing but retire this year, and Asian Flash would continue for a few more years after winning the Autumn Tenno show, Smart Falcon, though he had recovered from the incident at the World Cup and intended to race again, developed tendonitis in his old age.
Just retire,
By April,
man.
Rulership has broken his pattern of winning and then losing, but not in a good way, and thus set his eyes on Hong Kong's Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Still yet to win a G1, Rulership got off to a similar...
Dude, the Queen Elizabeth, the upcoming, I don't know when is it? I'm gonna look at that. Because there's quite a bit of like Korean horses that are aiming for this.
That he did in the Dubai Shima Classic, placing comfortably in 3rd. This time, competing against European G1 giants, Rulership took off in the final straight, leaving his opposition almost 4 lengths behind him to take the victory and final G1 win. Rulership returned to Japan and competed in G1 races exclusively for the rest of the year, not collecting victories, but podium finishes nonetheless. You know, I was just thinking it's probably about time that Japan took on the arc again. Who are they going to send now? Oh, they mean business this time.
Orfevre!
Probably the strongest horse that
I'm still gonna say they should have had Ikezoe. That's
Japan had ever sent abroad. He was coming off his 3-year-old year in which he won the Triple Crown and the Arima Kinen and was sent to France with 5 G1 victories under his belt. Orfevre partook in his trial race for the Arc, the Prix Foy, against a small pool of 4 other racers and won by a length after a brief duel with Meandri. Orfevre actually entered the Arc as the shared #1 favorite after his performance in the Prix Foy. This time, though, Orfevre would have to contend with 17 other racehorses from across the country. Orfevre ran at the back for the majority of the race, staying there until the final straight itself. At this point, Orfevre would take off. Far outside, Orfevre climbed past everyone, taking the lead in the last 300 meters. It was then that Orfevre made a strange directional mishap, veering towards the inner rail, and would lose to Salemia by a neck.
It's not strange, like, it's a habit. He goes sideways sometimes.
Let's check back in on Curran-chan. After winning her second G1 at the Takamatsu no Miyakinen, the curtain was starting to close on her career in 2012, so it was decided that her final race would be at the Hong Kong Sprint, the same race that she placed 5th in the year before. Curran-chan would also be sent with who she finished second to in that year's Sprinter Stakes, Lord Kanaloa. At the Sprint, Curran got off to a late start and was blocked practically the whole time, so ended up in 7th place to cap off her racing time. For what it's worth, though, Lord Kanaloa won this race, so it was another international victory for Japan. It's 2013 now, and there's a new scary horse on the field. 2012's Triple Tiara winner Gentildonna was on a tear that
Wait, why didn't... Wait, oh, never mind. I was gonna... Never mind.
Even saw her defeat Orfevre at the Japan Cup. Gentildonna had plans to participate in the Arc alongside Orfevre.
That's my queen right there.
But decided to focus on the Tiara instead, so this
I know Mr. CB's my wife, but...
The plan was to go to the Dubai Shima Classic, return for the Takarazuka Kinen, and then go to the Arc. In March, Gentildonna went to Dubai as the number one...
Dude, can you imagine her in the Arc?
One favorite for the Shima Classic. She performed admirably through.
She lost the first Shima that
throughout the race, but raced alongside the outside for most of it, which likely sapped most of her strength. She ended up placing a little over 2 lengths behind St. Nicholas Abbey. Per the plan, she returned to Japan for the Takarazuka Kinen, but placed 3rd there behind winner Goldship. Because of that,
I'm sorry.
The plan to run the Arc was cancelled. Fortunately, Japan had that other revenge trip plan in mind. But first, let's check up on another former Globetrotter. Asian Flash would make another trip in 2013, this time to Hong Kong for the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Despite his win at the Autumn to No show, Asian Flash hasn't exactly been performing well since his trip to Dubai. He did show a fearsome approach toward the end of the race, but unfortunately, he would only get 3rd. This will be the end of Asian Flash's excursions, although he did return to Japan and win his next race in the Mainichi Okan. Back to France now. The 2013 Prix de l'Arc was supposed to have an absolutely insane cast from Japan to take part.
It's Goldship, and Just Away. Oh, no, 2014, right?
Double Crown winner Goldship, 2012 Triple Tiara winner Gentildonna, and 2013 Spring to No Show winner Fenomeno were also planned to go with him, but for one reason or another, the latter 3 did not make the expedition, and instead Orfevre would be joined by Japan Derby winner Kazuna. Despite being kicked in the face...
Wait, Kizuna? Wait, what? What is this? 2013 Prix results. Oh shit, Kizuna did go. And he's with Take. I don't know why they went with Sumi Leon, man. I know he's a good jockey and all, but I mean, it's Trev, right?
By another horse he was traveling with, Orfevre once again entered and once again won the Prix Foy by a dominating 3 lengths. Thus, Orfevre once again entered the Arc as the favorite. Orfevre started off the same as last year, racing towards the back, and it would be the racers in his position that would make the biggest leap, as Orfevre, Trev, and Kazuna all took off in the final straight.
Bro, Kazuna is
Kazuna ended up lining up next to him, somewhat blocked his path. This would ultimately lead to a 4th place.
I need to watch those races from Kizuna.
Finish for Kazuna, another 2nd place finish for Orfevre, and a 1st place finish for Trev. Orfevre would then return to Japan and win his final race, the Arima Kinen, becoming a 6-time G1 winner. Since it's 2014, it's time for another quick conquest of Dubai. This time, Japan would send 3 horses overseas in an attempt to take 3 different
Gentildonna.
races. Let's start with Hoko Taramai. Tomakamai's favorite horse had podium finishes, including 9 graded victories in his last 16 races, so he was sent to participate in the Dubai World Cup. Quite simply, though, Hoko Taramai had an impossibly difficult time adapting to the surface of the racecourse and came in 16th place. He would also have to stay in Dubai longer than anticipated after this, after developing stress-induced internal
he had to recover first.
In Japan in the same year. Elsewhere, the current record holder of the Satsuki show and the very famous Begonia show, Logotype, was sent to participate in Dubai duty-free. Admittedly, Logotype had found himself in a bit of a slump at this point, but perhaps his luck would change here. Logotype would be sent with rival Just Away to compete against a tough field comprising of 7 G1 caliber horses.
Just Away
got off to a late start and hung out in the back with Logotype. Where the former took off in the final straight, though, Logotype did not. Unable to keep up, Logotype finished in 6th and watched Just Away set a record time in the Dubai duty-free. Logotype would return to Japan to try and get out of this slump before making any other big moves. Where her 2 comrades struggled, Gentildonna returned to Dubai in 2014 to once again challenge the Dubai Shima Classic. She stumbled a bit at the previous year's Kyoto Kinen, but otherwise had maintained podium finishes in her other.
That was an insane race. This is one of the best races I've ever seen. It sucks that I needed to delete that freaking video.
Despite this, she kept going at a strong pace and overtook Cirrus de Agla at the final straight, winning the Dubai Shima Classic for the first time by a Japanese horse in almost a decade in a record time, too.
Yep.
A month later, Epiphanea would be sent to Hong Kong because Japan really likes participating in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. The Kikisho winner and perennial podium finisher found himself second favorite. His main competition would be Designs on Rome, and although he did compete well,
Designs on Rome. That's a cool name.
He did impress his staff, so high aspirations were made for further excursions the following year. Since Orfevre retired, Japan needed a horse who could get down to business and win the Arc this year. This was a different line of business.
Let's get down to the... Nope.
After missing out on the previous year, Goldship was sent to France to partake in a fashion show or something. Don't remember, but somehow ended up in the Arc. At this point, 5 years old, Goldship showed some promise at the third corner with an...
I still think he could have placed higher if he wasn't squeezed by two horses. And everybody knows that this horse is very petty. And he's like, I don't want to do this no more.
Advance, but it just wouldn't be enough to overcome anybody else, including now two-time Arc winner Trev. Goldship ended up 8 lengths behind, placing 14th. In 2015, Hoko Taramai once again aimed for the Dubai World Cup. He didn't travel alone though, as he was joined by new Arc hopeful and Japan Cup winner Epiphanea. Although Hoko Taramai was an expert on this type of course, this would be Epiphanea's first race on dirt, and he didn't react well to it. He struggled mightily and couldn't muster anything up on the rough course.
Why would you try dirt?
In 9th place.
I mean, sure, I guess everybody has that Sunday silence gene, but still, man.
A much better start, but started facing traffic from other racers as early as the first corner. He eventually fell back to 5th place, which is where he ended up finishing. Both would return to Japan, and while training for the Arc a few months later, Epiphanea developed ligamentitis and was forced to retire. We have nothing for the rest of 2015, so in 2016, you'll never believe who we're starting with.
Oh my god! He's still here!
For the third straight year, and because it's the charm...
Is it a charm?
Hoko Taramai entered the Dubai World Cup and was forced into the back instead of taking up a spot in the upper half. The bad traffic from last time may have gotten to him though, because according to his jockey, he seemed very worried about the other horses around him. This concern threw off his racing game and he ended up placing 9th.
So it's not the charm.
7-year-old horse would hang up his horseshoes for this year, but over his career was a monster in the Japan dirt scene.
Hey.
So we're okay with this for now.
Yeah.
Around the same time, another journey to Dubai started featuring new Arc aspirant Duramente. The double crown horse was coming up.
Dude, this horse, from what I understand, is kind of like Suzuka, right? It's kind of Suzuka. Like, their bodies couldn't handle their shit.
An injury, but had placed first in record time at the previous year's Japan Derby and has never finished below 2nd place in 7 races. Entering the Dubai Shima Classic as 3rd favorite, there was a small incident before the race where his horseshoe fell off. They refit it, but apparently it wasn't refit very well, and this was pointed to as the reason that Duramente placed all the way back in 2nd. Although he had eyes on the Arc,
all the way back in 2nd.
Following the Takarazuka Kinen, Duramente developed severe injuries in both front legs and subsequently retired. Elsewhere, Satono Crown would start a sojourner of his own.
By the way, one of the hottest for me, Satono Crown character design. I love the G1 outfit. I don't know why.
Hong Kong. It started with entry into
Neurons, something neurons or something. I don't know.
The Queen Elizabeth II Cup, where he started off well, but once pressure started to be applied further in the race, he was lackadaisical, which saw him fall all the way down to 12th. After an unsuccessful return.
By the way, gang, hey, comment below. What's the freaking Satono curse thing in the anime? Is that a real thing? Or were the Satono people just unlucky or nah? Was it like an anime exclusive, like, you know, story, like, factor or something? I don't know. Not a storyline, just, you know.
To Japan, Crown was sent back to Hong Kong.
A wrinkle in their story.
In the Hong Kong Vase. In the Vase race, he would not only face the horse who had defeated him in the QE2C, but the runner-up in that year's Arc, Highland Reel. Highland Reel was the overwhelming favorite compared to Satono Crown, but this time, it would be those two horses engaged in a battle for the lead on the final straight. Crown ended up just barely winning this race over Highland Reel, becoming the
if you outworked,
horse to win G1. Don't worry, more on the first later. On the same day, the Hong Kong Mile would see a competitor who had gone on excursion before, but not since 2014. Logotype had won that year's Yasuda Kinen, but that was his only victory since the 2013 Satsuki show. Nevertheless, he got off to a good start, closely tracking the leaders of the race, but couldn't get any momentum going and ended up coming in a relatively close 5th. On to the next year.
Not bad.
Who else could we start with other than Sounds of Earth? Sounds of Earth had been racing since 2013 among greats like Kitasan Black and Goldship, but didn't exactly have the gold to go with his long tenure, only having won 2 out of 20 races, with neither victory coming in graded races. Not to be completely unfair to him, he did have 8 second place finishes in G2 and G1 races. Thus, Sounds of Earth was sent to Dubai to take part in the Dubai Shima Classic. He started off as he normally would in the middle of the pack, but got stuck on the inside with no way out. Because of that pace, he was trapped and ended up in 6th place. To his credit though, he stuck it out racing until 2018, retiring at 7 years old.
Wait, really? That is insane.
Earth wasn't the only one sent to Dubai though, as 2017 would be the prequel to another prominent excursion racehorse. Vivlos to this point had what we could call a mixed record of race results, but was coming off a victory at the Shuka show. She was sent abroad to race in the Dubai turf.
I wonder how she is now. This is definitely a broodmare, but like, is there any news of her offspring? It's been a hot minute.
Known as the Dubai Duty Free. During the race, Vivlos stayed around the middle of the field until the last straight, where she took off from the inside and cut off the paths of her competition, winning the Dubai turf and becoming the 5th Japanese filly to win an overseas race. Vivlos returned to Japan to mixed success, but just you wait till we're out of this year. Since Satono Crown had won an international G1 the previous year, Satono Diamond was sent to France
there she is. There's Satono Freaky.
An attempt to do the same. The first horse with the name Satono to win a G1 after winning the previous year's Kikisho and Arena Keenan, his attention was on the Arc in early 2017. The plan was the exact same as the plan when Orfevre went. Win the Prix Foy and then the Arc. Entering the former as the favorite, Satono Diamond would have to face bad conditions due to weather. Not only that, but he hadn't run in a race for almost half a year in preparation for the Prix Foy. This combination turned out to be a problem for Satono Diamond as he fell to 4th place to finish.
Half a year? That's... how? Why?
This also affected his odds in the Arc as he plummeted to 20/1 odds. Not only were the track conditions...
She was like 15th or 16th, right?
Still bad, but it was speculated that something was off physically with the horse, be it illness or otherwise. Satono Diamond went through with the race anyway, but finished in 15th after being...
Why would you go through with it still, right?
Overall uncompetitive and returned to Japan.
It's not like these people have like no money. Like, it's still a loss, sure, but like, that's your main asset right there.
Kiseki also started an excursion journey.
Oh, hey, Kiseki.
With France and Dubai covered, Kiseki was sent to Hong Kong to once again try and claim the vase. Fresh off a Kikisho victory, Kiseki made the trek over, but once he got there,
I like her face design, but her outfit not so much.
Found that he had some sort of infection on his left front leg, but it was deemed to be mild, so he ran in the vase anyway. He got off to a surprisingly typical late start.
Is it too pussy of me to be like, oh, if there's something wrong with the horse, let's just scratch it, you know? Let's not risk it.
Start in the vase that he couldn't recover from, so he ended up taking 9th. He returned to Japan to plot further good plans for excursions later. 2018 saw international returns from both Vivlos and Satono Crown. Both of them were sent to Dubai in March to participate in the Dubai Turf and Dubai Shima Classic, respectively. Let's start with Vivlos. She was registered with 4 other Japanese horses, so Japan made up half the participants in this running of the Dubai Turf. Vivlos started off waiting in the back and took off in the last straight alongside Real Steel. Although she would win the battle,
Real Steel is in the race.
She couldn't
Why is Real Steel not in the fucking game?
overtake eventual winner Ben Battle and ended up coming in 2nd, which is still nothing to sneeze at. Satono Crown.
Who owns this horse? It's Sunday Racing. Why not in Musume, by the way?
Returned to Dubai for the first time in 2 years.
Especially now.
Shima Classic trophy. He got off to a poor start and got bumped around by other horses throughout the race, so he never really could get going. Unfortunately, this would continue a pretty bad slump for Crown as he placed in 7th after a painfully slow pace that never really afforded him an opportunity to break out. Satono Crown's excursion ends here, but Vivlos still had business to attend to.
Speaking of Satono Crown, guys, comment below why do you think Satono Crown is still in Shadai's stallion roster and Diamond is not? Like, who's the better, I guess, horse?
Vivlos returned to Japan after the Dubai Turf, but then traveled to Hong Kong for the Hong Kong Mile. This was announced to be Vivlos' retirement race, and it wouldn't be easy as she would have to go against local horse and overwhelming favorite, Beauty Generation. Despite the odds being against her, Vivlos found herself locked in battle.
That is an insane name, Beauty Generation.
With the favorite. Where Beauty Generation led for most of the contest, Vivlos was close behind. She ended up unable to close the gap at the end, placing 2nd by under a length. As a result of this impressive showing, though, Vivlos' retirement would be delayed. And thus we find ourselves in 2019 following
that's a lot of good golf.
Vivlos once again to Dubai. This time, because Japan was serious about winning for real,
their
best expedition racer Vivlos alongside frequent excursioner Deidre and...
Oh no! Hey. Hey.
Alongside frequent excursioner Deidre and...
Yep, there she is. There she is.
Because Amanai had presumably nothing better to do with her time, coming off a year in which she was undefeated in 5 races, won the Triple CI,
man.
both the Oka Show and Japan Cup, She was sent to Dubai with eyes on that year's arc. Both Japanese
Good one, OG. Good one.
representatives met on the final straight. This really was a battle between two forces in their own right, and it once again ended up with Vivlos chasing first place Amandai, both of whom had made their moves launching from the middle of the pack. Unfortunately for Vivlos, met with hitherto unforeseen strength, she couldn't catch up but placed second behind Amandai, who added to her own incredible
yes,
legacy.
balance in the
This would be
universe.
race that Vivlos ended her career on, but she would interestingly retire with significantly more monetary success overseas than in her native Japan.
Oh,
Luckily for
shit.
Vivlos, she had great company that year as half-brother Cheval Grand was also sent to Dubai as part of a longer expedition. By this point, Cheval Grand had been racing for 5 years to mixed success with his most recent victory in the 2017 Japan Cup. Nevertheless, he was entered into the Dubai Shima Classic. Despite what his record at the time may indicate, he had a very strong race here and made a good effort in the last stretch, but ended up falling to second place. Both Cheval Grand and Vivlos placed second in their respective races on the same day. Aww. Cheval Grand then traveled to Europe to race in Great Britain. He was first entered in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, a race that a Japanese horse has still not yet won. Cheval entered against fierce competition, including 8-time G1 winner Enable and graded race regular Crystal Ocean. The track conditions were poor, which also didn't work.
Is this a race that the older Yoshida men are obsessed about in Europe? Aside from the art.
Against the top racers in Europe, he ended up in sixth. Cheval Grand next had sights on the British International Stakes, which you may remember from 12 years ago when I talked about with Zenno Rob Roy, who was the last Japanese racehorse to race there, so I guess Japan is just letting Britain know that they haven't forgotten that they have business here. In this race, Cheval Grand started off strong, but at the final stretch, he couldn't react to the other competitors' final spurts and ended up all the way down in 8th, losing to Japan. The horse. Its name is Japan. I don't think this counts for the country. Ah, man.
Yeah. Is it?
It's already July. It's name.
Wait, who owns Japan? Is it Komor? Yeah, it's Komor, right?
Name is Japan. I don't think this counts for the country. Ah, man, it's already July. I guess we have just enough time to take a quick detour to France again. Like I said, Amandai had eyes on the arc this year, but when she came back from Dubai, she was found to be dehydrated and fatigued, so her staff decided to prioritize her health and stayed in Japan for the rest of the year.
Good ownership.
Japan would send Kiseki and Blast One Piece to the land of the baguette. Kiseki was sporting 5 new podium finishes since we last saw him. Nice. He was racing fine throughout, but his final spurt was lacking, so he fell to 3rd out of 4. Let's move on to the arc. Kiseki and Blast One Piece both entered this race heavily unfavored. That was probably due to the fact that Enable, remember her, was now on a 12-race winning streak. Kiseki hung out towards the back and got stuck there to start the race. Not to be outdone, 2018's Arima Keenan winner Blast One Piece was even further back thanks to the track conditions.
No.
Wait, that's not a good thing. Neither horse could really get out of their pack, with Kiseki finishing in 7th and Blast One Piece finishing in 11th. Blast in particular racing poor little heart out, barely being able to stand up after the race. Also, in case you were curious,
that's fucked up. I hope he was okay.
Was instead won by Waldegeist. Once more later in the year, a lucky...
she is Blast One Piece. I'm tired of you guys saying, it's a filly. Oh, it is a dude. It's a dude.
The horse would be sent to partake in the Hong Kong vase. The luckiest horse, in fact, Lucky Lilac, was sent over after a victory in the Japanese Queen Elizabeth
there she is.
II Cup.
Hey, as of this recording, she has been announced for tomorrow, by the way. Lucky JP peeps, man. Hey, JP bros, good luck on your polls.
And yet another bit in the game of anything you can do.
You're probably pulled when you see this.
Can do too with her rival Amandai. She entered with Deidre, who had spent almost her entire year abroad, and Glory Vase in the Hong Kong vase. It's hilarious. Lucky Lilac would end up battling Glory Vase for the lead with Deidre not far behind. But Glory Vase would be the one just barely to pull ahead in the last second, winning by just over half a length over Lucky Lilac.
Hey, that's not bad.
For some inexplicable reason, no Musume characters went on excursion for 2020, although there were still excursions made. So we're jumping over to our last year with a big batch of examples, 2021. First things first, we start over in Dubai, where 2 new horses would take on the Dubai Shima Classic. Japanese Oaks.
We're gonna end with Nepo Baby, aren't we?
Winner and record holder Loves Only You, alongside Arima Keenan winner.
She's so hot. And the dude that says I'm down bad for Loves Only You, hey, you're not wrong.
Chronogenesis. The former had intended to go last year, but couldn't for some reason that I'm not saying, and the latter was slated to be the next Japanese.
This character is kind of close for global, right? Wait. Chronogenesis. Or am I thinking of a different horse? Oh, no, it's not. Different. Oh, I'm thinking about Neo Genesis. Neo Universe, not Fuck. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is closer. Anyway, sorry guys.
In the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
It's been an hour.
Had a terrible year last year. She entered as third favorite, while Chronogenesis entered as first. During the race, Love's Only You stayed behind, marking Chronogenesis and eventually overtaking her. The pair of them would race against each other fiercely during the final straight, but at the very last moment, second.
I think it's the pale skin, yellow eyes, and that heart. I don't know.
Would overtake Chronogenesis and barely eke out the victory, leaving Chrono in second and Love in third. While Chronogenesis returned to Japan in preparation for her trip to France, Love's Only You would continue her expedition to Hong Kong. This time, she'd be joined by familiar faces Glory Vase and Kiseki, as well as 2020 Triple Tiara winner Daring Tact. All four racers would participate in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. All of them grouped up in the middle of the pack to begin the race, and at the final spurt, all four of them took off, overtaking the then leader Time Warp. Love's Only You and Daring Tact took to the front to duel it out, with Glory Vase and Kiseki making late moves, but it would be Love's Only You coming just ahead of Glory Vase.
Oh,
Japan taking all four top positions.
I was expecting Daring Tact to take over
in this race, and this time all four returned to Japan. But we'll be hearing from one of them again before the year is out. While that was going down, Chronogenesis became the third horse and first mare in history to win 3 consecutive Grand Prix races.
Wait, Chronogenesis is a filly. Damn.
Entered the Prix de
Oh, right. Oh my god, Doodle, you're so dumb you played the game and watched the anime. I'm stupid, guys. I'm sorry.
To Triumph, highly favored. She started off in fantastic form.
Wait, what did she... What did you say?
While that was going down, Chronogenesis became the third horse and first mare in history to win 3 consecutive Grand Prix races. And
wow. That's why that's why she's meta, huh?
Entered the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe highly favored. She started off in fantastic form by chasing in third place. Unfortunately, she couldn't maintain this pace and eventually ran out of stamina, dropping back and eventually finishing in 7th. She then...
I swear, is the arc scenario, do we just have a forever debuff for stamina?
Returned to finish her career in that year's Arima Keenan. So of the 4 horses I mentioned earlier, which one do you think kept it going? Okay, well, technically it was 2 of them, but let's talk about the one with the funny hat. Coming off a second place finish in the Sapporo Keenan, Love's Only You took to America. Here she would participate in the G1 Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf.
There she is.
Competition here, as she was going up against Warlike Goddess, who was on a 4-race winning streak, and Double Crown horse from England, Love. That's gonna be confusing. While Love's Only You started in her typical spot in the middle, both...
I need to watch that. Actually, I think it's in my list. This, the 2021 Filly and Mare Turf.
Those other horses made their moves to the front from way outside. However, that seemed to have expended more energy than they wanted, as My Sister Nat would slowly overtake them, followed by Love's Only You. Between the 2 of them, Love's Only You managed to take the lead by half a length and became the first Japanese horse to win a G1 race in Japan, Hong Kong, and the United States.
Damn!
Speaking of Hong Kong, that was where Love's Only You was headed next. But another horse would participate in a race the same day, Marche Lorraine. The prominent Japanese dirt racer found herself in the G1 Breeders' Cup Distaff. Marche Lorraine had
Japan should explore Orfevre as a dirt dam sire or something.
Participated in G1 equivalent dirt races, but has yet to find success, so she entered as 9th favorite overall. She started at the back, but at the last corner surprised everyone by making up significant ground and taking the lead, competing with Dunbar Road. Marche Lorraine was able to hold the lead through the end of the race and become not only the first Japanese, but also the first non-North American horse to win the race. Back to Love's Only You. The Hong Kong Cup was announced to be her final race. This time, entering as number 1 favorite, her typical strategy saw her caught up in a struggle with fellow Japanese horse Hishi Iguazu. The seasoned veteran at this point made her way past Hishi Iguazu and leader Russian Emperor to take yet another foreign victory.
Oh hey, she won!
In the cup. Because of her overseas victory, Love's Only You also joins Vivlos as another horse.
That is insane.
With more career earnings in foreign races than local ones. After her success in America, Marche Lorraine then made the trek to compete in the 2022 Saudi Cup as a retirement race. Entering her 6-year-old season, she was unable to keep up with the pace of her competition in the final straight, falling back to a pack left behind and couldn't get past 6th place despite a good start and good positioning throughout. It took another 2 years to get another Musume rep sometime overseas, but the entire rest of this video is going to be spent covering Forever Young. Coming into 2024,
there she is.
Forever Young, who's owned by some guy who owns some company, which has a company which makes some game.
Yep.
He won all 3 races he partook in, including the JBC 2-year-old Yushun and Zen Nippon 2-year-old Yushun, the latter of which being a Grade 1 equivalent dirt race. The real steel progeny would first enter the Saudi Derby. The Derby would be a struggle for Forever Young at the beginning, as he got off to a late start and was forced to run outside until he reached the middle pack. Once he got there, he was able to race more comfortably, but he was far behind the leader thanks to his rough start, being around 4 or 5 lengths.
Does she have a fang? What do you call this? I forgot the term for this. I didn't realize that.
Back. Incredibly, though, with scant time remaining, Forever Young was able to pick up the pace and pass his opposition by a nose, and in doing so, set a record in the Saudi Derby by almost 2 seconds. Forever Young would have his attention turned to the Kentucky Derby, a race that has seen Japanese participation, but as of yet, not so much as a podium finish. To earn Kentucky Derby points, which are earned in Kentucky Derby prep races, sort of like qualifying races.
The Kentucky Derby Trail!
Forever Young would enter the UAE Derby held in Dubai. This time he would have a much better start and found himself in a good position behind the leaders in the race. Thanks to this position, later in the race he was able to overtake his competition and win by 2 whole lengths.
It's 100 points.
Then headed to America as an undefeated racer, entering the Kentucky Derby as third favorite. Once again though, he got off to a late start and was in the middle of the pack. Just before the third corner, he made his move to advance on the leaders and found himself competing with Mystic Dan and Sierra Leone. All 3 of these horses crossed the finish line together and the result went to a photo finish. The evidence found that Forever Young finished in third by a nose and a head to Mystic Dan, handing Forever Young his first career loss. After a brief trip home to win the Japan Dirt Classic, Forever Young entered the Breeders'
There's
Cup
a lot of things to unpack there
Once again,
still.
He would find himself racing against
But hey, it is what it is.
It would be Sierra Leone who gave him the most trouble in this race as an imposing wall he couldn't break through, as Forever Young couldn't catch him from his far back position and took third. His trainer was quick to point out that this might have been thanks to Forever Young starting at the innermost post. After another brief trip home to win the Tokyo Daishoten, Forever Young was invited to the Saudi Cup and Dubai World Cup in 2025. In the Saudi Cup, Forever Young found himself in the third and second place positions to start off, and eventually found himself competing against Romantic Warrior, a horse who had dominated the Hong Kong racing scene who had 10
This was an
G1
insane
wins.
race.
Romantic Warrior took the lead from Forever Young briefly in the final stretch, but
This
Forever
was
Young
an
wouldn't fall
insane
too far
race.
behind and managed to outstretch his opposition by
Why am I
an
talking like
excellent
that?
victory in the Saudi Cup in record time. As a result of this win, Forever Young was slowly becoming one of the highest earning racehorses of all time, now in third place. It was also declared that later in the year, Forever Young would return to America to take on the Breeders' Cup again. For now, though, he moved to take on the Dubai World Cup
this kind of
the
sucks.
overwhelming favorite to win. Despite seeming irritated after some pre-race procedures took too long, Forever Young found himself pace chasing again toward the lead. This time, in the final stretch, he couldn't keep up with the horses.
I'm slowly realizing, or maybe I'm coming to the conclusion that she might not just like the track in Dubai.
Finished in third by 2 lengths to underdog Hit Show. After yet another brief trip home to win the Nippon TV High, does anybody else get deja vu? Forever Young traveled back to California for his revenge race in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Forever Young's American rival and the previous year's Breeders' Cup winner, Sierra Leone, was also to be in this race, and after being toward the lead for most of the race, found that same horse on his trail. Forever Young took the lead, but was dealing with dogged pursuit.
This was a real...
Leone was never able to pass him, and Forever Young won his first American race. At this point in time, Forever Young was the highest earning Japanese racehorse of all time and was the first dirt running horse to win the JRA Horse of the Year award. And this takes us to 2026. Once again with eyes on the Saudi Cup and Dubai World Cup, Forever Young entered the former once again in February. Much like last year, he found himself toward the front, joined by Nisos, the winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Nisos, who was his closest competition, couldn't close the distance, and Forever Young won his second Saudi Cup.
But Nisos did make him work more than what a lot of people care to admit.
And then, as of literally a week ago, because they knew I was making this video and had to make the process just a little bit longer on me, Forever Young took part in the Dubai World Cup. He found himself racing in second pretty much throughout the entire race, behind Magnitude the whole time. During the majority of the race, he was fairly close to Magnitude, but come the final
That
stretch,
was an insane race by
Magnitude. Separated
Magnitude.
himself more and more from the pack, and though he tried to catch up, Forever Young couldn't close the distance until his first ever second
it is
place
what it
finish.
is.
And until Side Games adds Equinox to the game, that's the complete list of excursions.
Ooh, it's this year, isn't it? It's this year. There's no way it isn't this year.
That Musume characters have taken. If you made it this far, then I grant you the secret knowledge to get UA ranks in Breeders' Cup.
Okay, how?
Don't say I never used my power for good.
Wait, you didn't say anything. But anyway, that was T Gimlet. That's an amazing video. Complete history of Musume and international racing to this day, right? Who knows what's gonna happen later this year? But yeah. I'm gonna link the video down in the description below. Please watch it. This guy is really funny. He's very entertaining. Go check him out, and I'll see you in the next one.